Oh, hi everyone, it's Jenny again, and I promised that I would get back to you on video about my blog post that I posted up, I think on the 5th of February, about my recovery from schizophrenia. And, one of the main reasons I want to get back to you actually was to thank you for all of you that commented on the blog and for all of you that actually emailed me to tell me how you felt about what I'd written. And overwhelmingly, everyone was very kind, very generous, and very supportive. Interestingly, though, you all took from it little bits that were relevant to you. You either related it to family members, to yourself, to colleagues, or people that you've known, or you related it to yourselves in a way that was, you'd seen little bits of yourself in what I'd written. It was really lovely to see that you took so many different things from it. Some of you wanted to conclude who I was and summarize who I was, and that was great too. And what I found quite actually instructive about all of your comments that came back was that I can't really attach to how I want you to perceive me, and I realise that perhaps a lot of the words I put out there I'm still attaching to how I want you to see me. And I realise that I don't need to do that, actually. I really don't need to do that. I just need to put out what I feel, and you will take from it whatever is relevant for you. So that was quite a liberating and revealing process that I went through as a result of sharing that blog post. So thank you very much for that. And that's your gift to me, so thank you. One or two of you, someone on Facebook and someone on my list, wrote to me about Kundalini energy, which I found intriguing, and it being linked to schizophrenia or being similar. And yes, I had heard it muted somewhere. So I did a little bit of research. I didn't go too deeply into it, but I did a little bit of research, and I read some people's accounts of their experience of Kundalini, and it's quite a wild, untamed energy. Almost an energy that you need to be very grounded to be able to use in your life. And of course, I think the reason this happens with young people, i.e. schizophrenia happens with young people so much, is because young people's psyche isn't yet developed enough to ground them. And so when a wild energetic experience is released, it becomes very confusing. And I think that is seriously what happened to me. I really do see that something snapped, literally snapped in my head. I couldn't contain this wild energy. My medical records comments that she complains she is too full of energy. And that's what was written on my medical record. And I was incredibly energetic at the time. I could not sit still. My head was busy, everything was busy. And I think, this energy was a psychic awakening, and not a very structured one, not a very organized one, a very chaotic awakening, but still, nevertheless, a very, very spiritual awakening that obviously has very little to do with brain chemistry. I'm sure there is something going on there, but that is not the cause of it. Okay, that is not the cause of these experiences that people have, especially my experience. So I will be exploring more that whole concept of Kundalini energy. It sounds a little bit off the wall and a little bit, otherworldly. So I'm not going to go too far down that path, not because I don't think it's valuable, but because I will probably assimilate from the whole research that I do an idea that suits me, and I'll put out my idea as and when it concretizes, and so that you can take from it again whatever it is you want to take. So that was a real, fantastic lesson, just learning to hand over responsibility to you guys for what you take from what I'm giving out. So that was fantastic. I'm going to put probably several little videos about my schizophrenic story, and in particular Dr. Pradeep Chadha, when he comes over on the 20th of April 2013, is going to interview me the night before our day, is going to interview me and be asking me questions that probably you also have. So if you've got questions you'd like Dr. Chadha to ask me, whether you be a psychiatrist, a counsellor, a psychotherapist, or just a person with schizophrenia, why don't you email me? I'll put the email address below somewhere, and we'll see if we can get Dr. Cheddar to include some of your questions, so that you get some answers, because I know what my answers are. I know what my experience was. It's up to you guys to actually ask the questions that you want to have answered, really. So that's going to happen. I'm really looking forward to Pradeep's visit to us. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please get onto the site. I'll post some details below here so that you can find your way around. And lastly, just to summarise, or just to close actually, I put out an audio teleseminar about 2 weeks ago. We're now in March, early March, so it's middle of February, on the psychospiritual causes of disease, and several of you have asked me for transcriptions of that, or an article about it. So I think it's probably time I did write that. So I shall be writing an article soon. I'll put it out on my newsletter very soon, along with this YouTube video, and you can share it. Please feel free to share as much as you want. Any blogs or articles or anything that I've written that you think would be meaningful to yourself or to other people, then I'm very happy for you to share everything that you find on my site or on YouTube. Lastly, actually, I know I said lastly a moment ago, but I did actually want to talk about this idea of crossing over through a portal, going through a doorway that you can never go back through. So it's almost like, the moment you cross through that portal, you do really let go of the past. And for me, I've had about 3 or 4 reincarnations in this one lifetime. And that might sound a little bit dramatic, because I haven't actually physically died, but there have been very significant mini deaths. And what's died, to use a Richard Rohr quote, has been my small self, or my ego. Not my full ego, because we need egos to operate in the world, but my small self, or my false self. There's had a various number of mini deaths, and as they've died, you realise that the false self, or the self that you've constructed to keep yourself safe in this world, has to go. It's irrelevant, and you come back to your true self. Buddhism has been largely responsible for these transitions, I must confess. This practice of keep coming home to me, always coming back to me. What do I think? What do I feel? How am I feeling? Sounds selfish, but if we can all do it, the world would be a much happier place. If we could all understand what we bring, how we are, and we could show people how to be happy, how to be free, instead of just telling people. So, once those mini deaths happen and you cast off the past, it is almost impossible to, that's a little bit of poetic license really, but it is quite hard to go back and recapture the events that used to be so important to you. And this whole exercise of me looking at my medical records 26 years ago, from 26 years, has been, quite a challenge in many ways, because I've had to comb over information that I really have largely forgotten. I've put it down. But reading the notes, them telling in the notes that I was very energetic, and various other events that are a little bit embarrassing really, but I will talk about them one day. Various things that I used to do, and thinking, oh my God, yeah, I just remember that now. It's been quite revealing, and it's taken me on this sort of quite hypnotic, meditative frame of mind to try and remember what used to run my life at the time. So it was quite interesting to realise, that those events and experiences that I had aren't me. They're just stuff that I went through. So that was quite a revelation, really. So thank you to everyone who commented, and thank you to everyone on the blog post. I'll keep you posted with all the updates that are coming up. I'll put some more stuff on about my schizophrenic episode, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you. So message me, comment below, let me know what you're thinking. Thanks.